Hello, my loves. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. We're back. We are back for part 7, I think. Part 7 of my palette collection. And I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all now, I ordered more palettes today. Moira Cosmetics is having an anniversary sale. And all of their palettes are $5. Not only are their palettes $5, but they've got all kinds of goodies for under $5. I lost my mind. I lost my mind. I went a little haywire. I really kind of controlled myself though, and I only spent $40, but I still have like 9 palettes coming. 9 palettes are on the way. And not only that, but ColourPop just had like an amazing sale too. So I've got like 5 ColourPop palettes on the way. Okay, so that's gonna be a video in and of itself. We're gonna do a haul for sure. But in this video, I'm gonna focus on my BYS palettes. I have quite a few of those. If you don't know who BYS is, they are really kind of fantastic. Their palettes look something like this. They come in these little tin palettes. You open them up and they're really just quite beautiful. I haven't even used this one yet. It's still got the cellophane on it, but I love this brand. Love, love, love. They're so affordable, so pigmented, so blendable, just delicious, delicious shadow palettes. Love them so, so, so much. I have quite a few of these, and then if we have time, I'm gonna get into some ColourPop. So let's just get started, shall we? The first one, since I already have this one out, this is the BYS. This is the Metals palette. Really, really pretty kind of minimalist packaging. Comes in this little tin palette form. You've got a nice sized mirror. I actually am trying to keep this one. I don't want to like dig into it, but I do have others that are open that I will swatch for you. This one is really just beautiful. I like that you can bend these back for ease of use. It kind of makes it a little bit easier to handle that way. But this one is just like a really pretty neutral metallic color story. Really, really beautiful. So there's number 1. Number 2, I have the Nude 4 BYS eyeshadow palette. This one at 10 as well. I really, really enjoy this packaging. It's got really cute little butterflies on it. They're they're nice to travel with because they're very, very sturdy. I like the light, like baby pink color of the packaging. The butterflies are just stunning. On the back, you always get a description of all of the colors. You get like a sneak peek into the palette. You open it up. I haven't opened this one yet either, but it's just really, really beautiful. It's just a really pretty nude palette. This is what the color story looks like. Again, I do like in here that you get a nice mix of mattes and shimmers. I think these are like an Australian brand. I think they're Australian. They're based out of Australia, but they're really, really beautiful. I love their color stories. They're almost kind of minimalist in a way. So, so pretty. So that was Nude 4. Number 3 is, let's do Unicorn. This packaging is just beautiful. So this is the BYS Unicorn palette. So cute. Here's what the back looks like. I have dug into this one. Again, you have a little mirror under here. That happens every single time. This is what the color story looks like. Really pretty, just kind of muted. I would say neutral with a pop of color kind of palette. I will swatch some of these for you because this one is actually open. Really, the shimmers are really, really pretty. Just kind of like really shiny. And shimmery. This one's kind of like a neutral kind of pastel palette. There's the purple. Really pretty. Let's do this darker. This one's called Golden Horn. Really pretty shimmer. This is just a muted pastel neutral palette, but I thought the packaging was so, so cute. I usually pay like $4 a piece for these. I get these at Burke's. Love them so, so much. The next one I love the packaging for this one. This one is the Crystal palette. That packaging is just stunning. It is so, so beautiful. Very multifaceted. Just gorgeous, gorgeous. This one feels nice and heavy. It's actually textured. It's like 3D packaging. Really, really beautiful. Color story for this is beautiful as well. I know it doesn't look like much, but it's actually a beautiful, beautiful palette. The way that it's put together, and these neutrals here are so, so pretty. They're like buttery on the eye. I really love the undertones. It's like a very peachy nude. Just so, so beautiful. Again, very, very easy to work with. It's like a purple shimmer. Let's do this really dark, kind of like stormy blue-gray, kind of metallic. Really, really beautiful. Love it. If you guys can get your hands on these, so worth having. So, so cute. And it's just really pretty. The next one I have, so that was number 4. The next one I have is the Malibu palette. Now, this was the first one that I got. So in love with this one. This one is such a very bright and bold color story. Again, nice little mirror. You can fold it back for like easy handling. I love the color story for this one. It is so, so gorgeous. This is the first BYS palette that I ever purchased, and then they come with these. Now you have your classic kind of like foam tipped applicator, and then you've got a dual-ended brush. Again, they're not really worth much, but I did like that these ones were white. They kind of look a bit more stylish. The color story for this one is very bright. The pinks in here are just so pretty. So, so pretty. Very bright. There's a matte. Here's a pink shimmer. They're really beautiful. They don't swatch the absolute best, but I tell you what, they go on the eye like a dream. They pick up super, super easy with a brush. Here's a purple. And then let's do this really beautiful, like gold metallic. So beautiful. So, so pretty. So that one was Malibu from the BYS. Again, the brand BYS. Such a great brand. I have never gotten a palette from them that I was like, eh. I have never. It has never happened to me. I love each and every one of these palettes. They don't repeat themselves either, which is something I really appreciate. This is the Cosmic one. Again, the packaging is so cool. Kind of like this holographic purple night sky. So, so pretty. Open it up. This is what our color story looks like. Now, I love this color story. I thought this was so deep and multi-dimensional. I really liked how it went from really light to really dark. You can get a lot of dimension out of this palette. I love the mix of textures. Again, this is a little shimmer heavy, but that's totally okay. Really, really beautiful palette. I do want to swatch this kind of like bronzy metallic for you, because it really is such a beautiful shade. I love it so, so much. One of my favorite shades out of this palette. I do want to do this black, because a lot of times a black will tell you a lot about a shadow formula. And this black is so, so pretty. Very deep and very dark. This one has got like a blue kind of undertone to it. So, so pretty. Let's do this bright green. That's what it looks like on my finger. A really beautiful, kind of almost minty green. Really, really beautiful. So that was the Cosmic shadow palette. So, so pretty. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6. Number 7 is the Rebel. Again, packaging on point. I love this. I love the packaging. It just looks so fierce and so cute. I love the studded thing that they've got going on. I love the color scheme. The black and the silver together is just really, really cool. Very edgy. open it up. The color story looks like this. Really beautiful color story. I've made a lot of really, really nice smoky eyes with this palette. It's kind of like a smoky eyed dream in here. Really, really beautiful. Again, you've got a matte black in here, which is really, really dark. And I also like that they gave you a matte black, but they also give you a shiny black, which doesn't happen very often. A lot of times you'll get a matte black, but then you don't really get to play with textures in your blacks. But this one is more of like a charcoal, but it's got this really beautiful kind of sheen to it that is so, so pretty on the eye. It catches the light in such a beautiful way. This red is really, really beautiful. It's more of like an orangey red, but it is so, so pigmented and very, very bright. I really, really enjoy it. Really, really vivid. Full pigment. It's really just beautiful. Also, I actually used this palette a couple days ago to create this kind of like black and gold smoky eye that I did. It was so, so beautiful. I used this palette to do it, and I used this. So this is like a mustardy gold. It is such a beautiful, beautiful shade, and it blends like a dream. It's one of my favorite parts of their shadows is they blend so, so well. It's really, the camera is not doing it justice, but it really is just the most beautiful, the tone of it. It's like it's slightly mustard, but it's got this golden undertone that is so, so gorgeous. And then you also have this really beautiful kind of like khaki green color here, which is so beautiful and really kind of an uncommon shade. So I really appreciate that as well. This silver looks like melted metal, and it is gorgeous. This Rebel palette is probably one of my favorites from the BYS, not only for the shadows inside, but the packaging is just so cool, and I love it so much. The next one I have is the Hot House. Now, I used this one not a couple days ago as well, because I had them sitting out because I've been planning on making this video for quite a while now. And just haven't had time to do so. But this one is really beautiful. Again, the packaging is so, so pretty. I feel like they really put time and effort into the packaging, and not only do they put the time into the packaging, but they put it in to the shadows themselves. You can tell by the layout. So beautiful. This is just a beautiful, like, it's just the most beautiful flower petal colors you've ever seen in your life. It is so, so gorgeous. This pink and orange here are so beautiful. They blend so beautifully together. It's just stunning. This metallic shimmer here is gorgeous. It is so gorgeous mixed in with this purple right here. The two together are just stunning. And again, you have this really beautiful, like, mustardy yellow. This is quite different. This isn't as golden as the one in the Rebel, but it still has that slight, I almost want to say, it's like a cool toned yellow to me. It is just so very, very beautiful. It manages to be yellow without being too warm. It is gorgeous, and it is gorgeous on the eye. I will swatch a couple of these for you because they are so, so worth swatching. I'm gonna do, let's do Sweet Pea, which is this really beautiful kind of like metallic blue. So, so beautiful. And it looks like that on the eye as well. Then we have, let's do this Lilac shimmer, which is gorgeous as well. Really opaque, beautifully. They catch the light so, so beautifully. This pink is so bright. It is so, so bright. Again, the mattes do not swatch the best, but I'm telling you, they go on the eye. Oh, so, so pretty. It is just a beautiful, beautiful palette. I highly recommend this one. I really, really do. If you're into bright, bold colors, I really, really like it. I like the ratio of mattes to shimmers. It is just a stunning palette. And you can usually find these for like under $5. Totally, totally worth the price. So, so beautiful. So that was number 8. Wait, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Number 8. So number 9 is the Euphoria palette. Beautiful. I'm not doing this in any kind of like ranking. I'm just this is the 9th palette that I've picked up. This is the Euphoria palette. So beautiful. Again, the packaging is kind of like, it's so beautiful. It is just visually appealing in like every way. So beautiful. This is what the inside of the palette looks like. These two greens here are fire. They are fire. They are so good. They're almost electric, as is this blue. And then you go down here, you go from cool tones to warm tones. It is such a beautiful palette. This I would say is a rainbow palette, but it's a fun take on a rainbow palette. I like that you've got more muted colors in the center. You've got these really vibrant greens and blues, and then you've got these really vibrant kind of like oranges and yellows. A really beautiful, very fun palette to use. I do want to show you guys this green, because it is so beautiful. Again, it's a matte. It's not going to swatch the best, but it goes so well on the eye. This blue shimmer is literally amazing. It's literally amazing. I love the tone. It's very bright and very blue without being overwhelming. It is so stunning. It's just this really vivid sky blue. I'm so in love with it. I'll show you guys this orange as well. Really beautiful orange, nicely pigmented. It really is like very fiery and robust. It's a very beautiful orange. I love these palettes. They're some of my favorites. I use these all the time. These and my Technique palettes are, I will say, some of my most used palettes. I love them so much. There is a palette for every mood. So number 10 and 11, I have the peach palettes. So I have peach 1 and peach 2. Peach 1 looks like this. I love the color of the packaging. I love the gold lettering. I think it just looks pretty together. You open it up and then you have the most beautiful, like peachy nude palette. It's so pretty. Really beautiful. Again, I really like that you can fold them in half so that they're easier to handle. This is just a really beautiful neutral palette. A warm toned neutral palette. So gorgeous. I love this so much. This was probably the second BYS palette that I ever picked up, and I'm so happy that I did. The tones in here are just so beautiful, so spot on. I love the mixtures of the different formulas in here. It really makes, and they all work so well together, it really makes for a very beautiful, very cohesive eye look. I love that you've got some like really nice, like neutral tans in here to kind of work with the really beautiful peachy tones. It's just a gorgeous palette. It's really pretty. Packaging is this like matte peach color with the bright gold lettering. It's so pretty. Peach 2 looks a little different. This is not matte. This is shiny. Again, you have the gold lettering, but it's not quite as bright as the peach one. This one is just a bit more muted. The layout for this palette is actually quite different. And what I like is how they played on it. So the packaging for this is a bit more muted, but the color story is actually much more, it's much more vivid. I love the layout for this. I like that the pans are much bigger. I like that they're kind of laid out in rows instead of just kind of like those little thin pans. This is probably my favorite. No, this is definitely my favorite of the peach palettes. Just because it's a bit more vivid. It's a bit brighter. Yeah, I dive into this thing. I love this one. I will swatch her for you because she is just absolutely stunning. This bright peach in the middle, this bright matte peach is just gorgeous. It is so gorgeous. It looks very similar to this one, but this one on the camera they look very similar, but this one is just this, I want to say electric peach. I don't know if you know exactly what I'm talking about, but that's what I would say it is. It's just this very bright electric peach, and it looks so beautiful on the eye. It just kind of, the formula just kind of like melts into your skin. It is so gorgeous. Let's do this brown shimmer. It's kind of like peachy bronze color is so stunning. Even these two colors together, you can get an idea of the color story. It is so gorgeous. I believe I paid $5 for this palette. I would do so again in a heartbeat. This palette is stunning. Again, you have the layout on the back. so you get a preview into what colors are in the palette, which I really, really appreciate. I just go gaga for this. These two peach palettes are some of my favorites. Yeah, I would take this over the Too Faced peach palette any day. This, and not only that, but I really think the formula is better as well. So gorgeous. The last BYS palette that I have of the big ones is the Berries palette. Now this one is beautiful. This one is laid out like the peach too, so you've got the bigger pans in here as well. I have not dug into this one, so I like the way that these two are laid out. These two are laid out the same way, so you have a row of metallics and you have a row of mattes. Now I think that's so cool, so smart. They kind of like correspond to each other. I have not opened this yet. I'm trying to keep it as fresh as I can for as long as possible. The minute you take the cellophane off, the timer starts. So I'm really trying to not open it if I don't have to. But the shades are just so beautiful. It's kind of this mauve-y, kind of muted berry color story, and it is so gorgeous. Really beautiful. The last one of the BYS palettes that I have is the Smoky. Now this is an on-the-go palette, which means it's for travel. It's just a little tiny version of the big ones. Again, same tin packaging, but this one is the most beautiful smoky. Again, you have a nice little mirror in here, which I appreciate. Again, it folds in half for ease of handling, and then you have the most beautiful smoky eye palette. It's so gorgeous. I love this kind of like glittery black. You just kind of like put it across your eye and it just kind of like pulls the light in the most beautiful way. It's so gorgeous. This silver is stunning. It is stunning. I love it so much. It's like a smoky, like, my puppies are playing. It's like this smoky silver gray kind of thing. It is so beautiful, especially blended out with that like glittery black. It's so pretty. I will swatch the black for you just so you know. It is like, it is a true midnight black. I just got eyeshadow. I do that every single time I do swatches. I end up with it all over me. Really beautiful opaque matte black. Just gorgeous. It's so pretty, and you can get these for such a small amount of money. It's insane. I find these at Dollar General sometimes, and it blows my mind because people just don't understand how great of a palette they are, and they just kind of overlook them. I guess it's because they think the packaging looks cheap or they've never heard of the brand. But I tell you what, if you see this brand, jump on it because it is fabulous. It is a fabulous makeup brand. The next ones I'm going to talk about are ones that are in the same kind of packaging, but not the same brand. So I have a couple of color ones that are nice. They are not as good as the BYS. Some of them aren't, but there is one that I used for my eye look today that is just absolutely amazing. It is a stunning palette. That one, the one I used on my eyes today, is the Color Bronze palette. Now, this is gorgeous. It's a gorgeous palette. I actually filmed a live using this. I filmed that video over on my Facebook page, so if you'd like, go check that out. Makeup for the Everyday Mama. I did a live today using this palette. I did this eye look, and it came out so beautifully. So easy to use. It is so gorgeous. I have never seen a color story quite like this. Now, this is more of like a, I almost want to say like a gray toned peach khaki bronze palette. I know that doesn't like sound right, but it is the most beautiful palette. I have never experienced colors quite like this. They're kind of like cool toned warm shades. I don't know. They're really beautiful, and they actually look very different on the eye than they do in the pan. I used pretty much almost all the matte shades in here, but I thought this dark shade was really beautiful. They don't swatch the best, but they go on the eye so well. This is just a really beautiful kind of like I want to say cool toned brown. Cool toned like khaki brown. So, so pretty. The next one is this really beautiful like warm toned, I want to say like peachy camel kind of. It's just, they're so beautiful. And I feel like they're so unique. Such a unique color story. I just got eyeshadow all over. That's what happens because I'm talking and forgetting that I have eyeshadow all over my fingers, but that's okay. We make a mess, and it's okay to be a mess sometimes. The next one I want to talk about is just this really beautiful, like peach. Oh, so beautiful. And they are so opaque. They go on the eyes like butter. They're almost velvety in texture. They're so, so beautiful. The shimmers are insane. This like dark kind of like bronze shimmer is fantastic. I want to say it's like an antique bronze, but it is so opaque and so shiny. Oh, it's just gorgeous. They are gorgeous, gorgeous shadows. Not only that, but it came with a brush, and the brush is actually really, really nice. So it's this kind of like red, rosy pink color. It's a double-ended brush. So you've got a flat packing brush here, and then on the other side you have this really big, very fluffy brush. It's very soft. It doesn't shed. I'm actually very impressed. I have not used the brush yet, but just the fact that it came with such a nice quality brush just impresses me that much more. I'm really, really impressed with this palette. I got this palette for $5 at Burke's. You really do find some beautiful treasures there sometimes. The next ones I have are the, these are color as well. This is the Ultra Electro. Packaging looks very much like the BYS Cosmo palette. The color story does as well. So I don't know if it's a dupe or... I have the feeling it's a dupe. Again, you have the little mirror. I haven't taken the plastic off of it yet. But this is what the color story looks like. It's just a really pretty color story. I was not as impressed with this formula. This formula seems to be very different from this formula. This one is not quite as pigmented. This one did not impress me as much as the other one did. Still a cute color story, but nothing to get super excited about. I also have just the regular Electro. So this was the Ultra Electro, and this one is the regular Electro. The color stories are very different. This one is, they're all metallics, but this one is, I will put them up together side by side for comparison. And we can see. So this is what they look like together. The color stories, as you can see, are different. Similar, but different. This one is all shimmers, and this one has a bit of mattes thrown in. I would say that they are fairly similar, but different enough to warrant buying both of them. Again, I don't think that the formula is anything super shocking. It's not like fantastic or anything. I'll swatch a couple of them. The shimmers are nice. They are very pretty. But the mattes, I just wasn't that impressed with. The shimmers are very, very nice. So I guess that's why they're shimmer heavy. I do know that it's easier to make a shimmer than it is to make a good matte. So I can understand it. And I do like the tones that they chose. It's a very pretty, cool toned shimmer palette. Very pretty, very pretty. Do I think it's worth $5? Sure. If you're into colors like this and you're super into shimmers, I think that you'd really enjoy this palette. I do like that they have a very deep black color and a very light color. It means that there's a lot of depth in this palette, and you could probably do quite a bit with it. So I think it's worth the money, just not my favorite. The last one I have that's in this kind of packaging is the Striped collection from Pure Cosmetics. Not P-U-R, but P-U-R-E. Different brand, two different brands. This one I was not impressed with at all. Again, this is it's a beautiful color story. It's very frosty, cool-toned color story. Everything is very metallic. It's a beautiful, beautiful palette. I just wasn't as impressed with this palette as I wanted to be. I didn't feel like the shimmers had as much like intensity. Well, they look beautiful right there, but on the eye, when blend these together, everything starts to look very much the same. They kind of blend out and they all mix together in a way that it starts to look very, very muddy, and there's no depth, there's no definition. Beautiful colors on their own, but when you start blending and like trying to build an eye look, they just they get very, very muddy, and it was not my favorite. The next one I want to talk about is, let's go for the rest of my color palettes. So this is the color palette. I got this from Burke's as well. I think I paid $3 or $4 for this. This is the Purple Rain palette. This is actually a really nice palette. I got it because it was purple. I don't have very many purple themed palettes, and I love purple, so I could always use another one. This one I liked the ratio of mattes to shimmers. I liked the kind of depth that you have going on in this palette, but when I got it home and opened it up, on further inspection, a lot of these colors are very, very similar. And the deeper purples are just, I mean, it looks really, really beautiful, and I'm not disappointed with this palette, but I just feel like some of the colors are a bit too similar, but it is still a very beautiful palette. This kind of pink topper shade is gorgeous. It's just really beautiful, and it's very soft and like, I don't want to say buttery, but it's just, this is a duochrome. So it looks purple, but then in the light, it's got like, it's gold. My camera's not going to pick it up, but it really is a beautiful, beautiful shade. This gold one is gorgeous as well. The shimmers feel very, very thin. So I don't know how they would like blend and build. I don't think it's a very buildable formula at all. I feel like this would be very beginner friendly. But the mattes are actually really, really nice. I'm not disappointed with this palette, and I think that it was worth the $4 that I paid for it. I just think that a couple of these purples are just very, very similar, and I wish there was a little bit more depth to the palette. There's this green in here, and I don't really know. I don't know. I just don't think it's a very well thought out palette. It's a very pretty, like, cute purple palette. I just don't think it's very well thought out. I'm going to play with this a little bit more because I haven't played with it yet. But from the swatches that I just did, the formula actually looks pretty nice. It doesn't look patchy or anything. So I'm excited to play with this one. The next one I have is by Color as well. This is the Flutter Face and Eye palette. Packaging is super cute. It looks like a little like diary. Super, super cute. It's got like a little butterfly on it. Adorable. It looks like a little journal. Open it up. There is no mirror, but it does say change is beautiful on the inner cover. And then on the other side, you've got this palette. I don't know what to say about these. I think it's adorable. I think it is a very adorable palette, but I don't think that there's any real depth here. I think that this is adorable for what it is. I'm not going to bash it because it's an adorable palette. This was $6 though. I don't know. I will swatch a couple of these for you. This yellow, I was hoping was going to be like insane, but it just looks very chalky and patchy, and it doesn't, I don't know. I just don't know how to feel about it. The mattes just were not very impressive to me. I mean, that one's pretty nice. The yellow is just really, really disappointing. Let's do this brown. This kind of like neutral color. That actually looks really, really nice. I think the whole thing for me is just that the yellow is just so disappointing. I don't see that going on the eyes very well at all. Maybe if you kind of packed it on and didn't really mess with it, it would be pretty, but it looks just really, really patchy and really chalky to me and just doesn't look appealing. The shimmers are very, very nice though. This is one of those like kind of thicker shimmer formulas that's really, really opaque, but they're very dry. I don't know how they would blend out on the eye. Again, I have not used this palette yet. They're nice and opaque, but they do feel very, very dry. This green one looks nice, but again, very crumbly and very dry, kind of dusty. I don't know. I don't think that it was worth the $6 that I paid for it. I am 100% going to end up giving this to my niece. I think that she will have a ball with it. That's kind of the vibe that I get from this. This is like a little girl's makeup palette, just kind of like a play palette. I don't feel like a grown woman would get this and really kind of get any real use out of it, but I do think it's kind of perfect for daughters and nieces who are just kind of trying to play with makeup. It's kind of perfect for that. The packaging is nice. It feels very heavy and sturdy. I just don't see a real eye look that I could make out of that, and really just, it just does not feel very adult at all. But I got this with the intention of giving it to my niece, who I think is going to absolutely adore it. The next one I have is, this is City Color. This is the Poppin' palette. Now, I love the packaging. I like that you've got a window into the palette. You can see what's going on. I like the packaging. It feels nice and heavy, nice and sturdy. I like the little kind of bubbles on the back. Really kind of cute. I have actually put my finger into a couple of these pans, and I will say I liked what I saw and what I swatched. Opacity was nice. The formula feels nice when I put my, like when it's on my finger, it feels nice on my skin. It doesn't feel too dry, but it doesn't feel greasy or oily. It feels like it's going to blend out really, really well. I like the tones in here. It's kind of like a rosy mauve tone with some real depth thrown in, because you've got this really beautiful kind of like deep brown to kind of give some dimension. It's a really beautiful palette. The shimmers in here are pretty as well. I feel like this is a beautiful kind of everyday palette. I'm very happy with this one. Again, this was the City Color Pop-In palette. Super, super pretty. I paid, again, $6 for this one as well. I do think that this is worth $6. It's a really beautiful mauve-y, cool-toned palette. Super, super pretty. This video is going on 40 minutes long, so I'm going to try to get through a couple more palettes. The next one I have is the Color Central. So this is the same as this one. So this is the same brand as this one. I just am not a big fan of the Color Central formula. I feel like it's very cheap. It feels like play makeup. The packaging is very beautiful. I don't remember how much I paid for this palette in particular. I bought this quite a while ago. I thought the packaging was very pretty. I opened it up. You've got a nice sized mirror. And then you've got some really beautiful shades in here. I thought this was going to be a really, really nice palette. But I will say that the shimmers are really spectacular. They're that kind of foiled formula. So the shimmers are really, really beautiful and very easy to use. But the mattes in here just don't have any kind of pigment going on at all. You blend them out and they kind of like blend out to nothing. They kind of just like disappear. There's a blue in here that just kind of like I was like, oh, that's so pretty. And then you do like a swatch of it and it's really, really beautiful. But then the minute you start to like blend it out, it loses all kind of like, it just blends out to nothing. And there's like, I just wasn't impressed with the mattes in this one. They feel like they're gonna work really well, but then you get them on the eye and it's just like wah. This one is a shimmer. This one is like nice and deep, but again, it's like patchy and chalky. I don't know. Just not my favorite formula. Do I feel like it's worth the $6 that I probably paid for it? No, not really. There's a lot of better formulas out there. This one just feels like play makeup to me and is just not my favorite. The next one I'm going to talk about is, okay, so I got this one. This is the Glam Star. I got this one as a novelty. This is Paris Hilton. It says Paris Hilton's name on it. I guess it's from her brand. It's Paris Hilton Glam Star 24-piece eyeshadow palette. It comes with this kind of little cheapy makeup brush. You've got a big mirror. I like that it folds in half. I really thought this was a beautiful palette. It's super glittery. kind of like very glam at the same time. It's kind of like a cool toned glam palette. You've got some nice pops of warmth in there. But I stuck my finger in this purple. Oh, let me do it on the other side. I'm running out of room again. I stuck my fingers in this purple though, and was just like, and I really am digging in there. Like, I am getting a ton on my finger, and it's just nothing. There's no pigment. Even the neutrals, I believe, perform the same way. These might be a little bit better. Well, the brown is a lot better, but that purple is just eh. And then I was excited about the glitters. I thought these were really beautiful, like glitter shadows, but then I realized that the glitter is just an overspray and it's just a metallic shadow. It's beautiful, and I have not played with it, so I'm not going to judge it too harshly. It's a beautiful palette. It's visually very, very appealing. How much did I pay for this? I will tell you. This was $6. I'm not sure if it was worth the $6, but it's a very pretty package. The packaging's super cute. The color story is very, very pretty. I don't know. I'm going to have to play with it a bit more to get a fair read on it, but these purples are trash. I know purples are difficult to formulate anyway, but yeah, just not the best. Not the worst, but not the best. Next, I have the Millennial Beauté Sweetie Pie palette. Now, I love this. This formula is stunning. The packaging is so adorable, so super cute. I'm going to clean up real quick because I've got swatches everywhere. I'm trying desperately to not have to make like 3 more videos. I'm almost done with all of my palettes. I know that this is video number 7, I believe, which is insane. I am doing a decluttering as I go through all of my palettes, all of the palettes that I am not into or that just weren't worth my time. I am putting aside, and I'm going to donate them. I'm going to give them to either friends or family that I think could use them. And then the ones that I haven't touched or used, I'm going to donate to the Church Mouse, which is a church-run thrift store here. They can always use stuff. So I am decluttering. I am getting rid of the unnecessary stuff. So this is the Millennial Beauté. I don't know if you've heard about them yet. This is another one of those palettes that I got off of Wanderlust Beauty, the discount makeup website. But this is just, it's adorable. You open it up and it is the most beautiful, like warm toned palette. So beautiful. This palette, this color story just screams fall to me, just in every way possible. These are really, really beautiful shadows. They're very pigmented. The shimmers are fire. So bright. Really, really beautiful. The mattes are beautiful as well. Very pigmented. They go on really, really well. They're very smooth. They're just really, really nice. That was kind of a crappy swatch. That's my bad, not the eyeshadow. Really beautiful. I loved the undertones. Again, the shimmers in here are fire. I paid $5 for this palette. Really nice price for what you get. Do I think this is the best eyeshadow formula out there? I definitely do not, but I do think it's absolutely adorable, and I love the packaging. I love the color story. I can't wait to start wearing this fall. There's You a Sunset Eye look right there. Just a really, really cute eyeshadow palette. The next one I have is the Color. This is another Color one. This one is, the packaging is really, really nice. It's kind of like raised. It's kind of like this matte textured packaging, which is really, really nice. This is the Color Sundown palette. This is actually a fantastic eyeshadow palette. You've got a nice little mirror. Again, I like that it folds over for handling purposes, and then you've got this really beautiful, again, this screams fall to me, color palette. It's just really, really beautiful. This is a warm toned neutrals palette. The formula for this is really, really nice. I actually enjoy I think I enjoy the color. Which one don't I like? I don't like the color Central, but I like the color. There's a shimmer. This is a gold shimmer, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I love, if you can tell, I definitely have a type. I love a warm toned eye palette. It gets me every time. There's just something about a warm tone on with my coloring and my eye shape that's just really, really beautiful. There's a lot of nice depth in this palette. The shimmers are just stunning. It's a really, really pretty palette. It doesn't swatch the best, but it does go on the eye really, really beautiful. I love this palette. I use this all winter long, all fall long. It's just absolutely gorgeous. The next one I have is the Pure, the PUR Midnight Masquerade palette. I got this off of eBay. I got it in a palette bundle. I believe this was in an Ipsy bag. This is the Pure Midnight Masquerade Eye and Face palette. You've got a teeny tiny mirror here. You've got I believe you've got 2 highlighters, 2 blushes, and then this. This is not my favorite palette, just because I'm not in love with the color story. I'm not sure why I purchased this. I think I was just excited to find the brand. If I could go back now, not that there's anything wrong with the eyeshadow formula, I'm just not a fan of the color story. It's just not really my thing. I don't feel like I could do a lot with this. They're mostly shimmers. You've got 1 matte out of this whole thing. It's just really not my favorite palette. I think the packaging is nice, and I use these as eyeshadows, and they're really very beautiful, but this just isn't my favorite palette. I do have the IBY Fireside. This one I got in the same bundle as this one. This is the Fireside eyeshadow palette. Again, you've got this little mirror here. It bends back for ease of use. And this is your color story. Again, I haven't really played around with this just because, for the most part, I forgot that I had it. But it's a very pretty color story. It's pretty much a neutral color story with a pop of green. I feel like you can make some very wearable looks with this. I'm going to have to play with this a little bit more. Really looking at it now, you've got 4 mattes, 5 mattes, and then some shimmers. It's really very pretty. Palette. This is a very nice, I would say, cool toned palette. It's very pretty. Packaging is nice. Nothing like super special, but very cute. The next one I have is the Morphe. This is the 5S Morphe palette, just a little teeny tiny one. It's got a nice sized mirror in here, and then you've got your shadows down here. So you've got 3 mattes, 4 mattes, and 1 shimmer, I believe. Really very pretty. The shadows in here are actually pretty nice. I love that shimmer right there. Very, very pretty. They feel very velvety. They're very soft and smooth. I've used this quite a bit. This is one of those palettes that I keep in my purse just because it's so tiny and it goes with everything. It's just a very tiny, compact, neutral palette. Kind of perfect for those emergencies when you're like, oh, let's go out to dinner, but I don't have any makeup on. That kind of situation. This one is the Colored Rain Vineyard Soiree palette. I love the packaging. This is really beautiful, kind of like glossy baby pink color. So pretty. You've got a nice sized mirror in here, and then this is your color story. I'm not a big fan of this color story just because I just feel like there's just not a lot of depth here. I feel like it's all pretty dark and smoky, and once you start to like put it together, it looks a bit muddy. The shadow formula is fantastic. Just not a fan of the color story in general. I think that if I had one of their palettes in maybe a different color story, I'd enjoy it much more. Just this color story wasn't my favorite. I will swatch a few because they're eyeshadows are just gorgeous. Just really beautiful, nicely pigmented. Just really pretty eyeshadows. The mattes are just fantastic. Just not a big fan of the color story in general. Next one I have is the Violet Voss. This is the this is the coral one, I believe. This is the, got a nice little mirror. This is, I think it's the Coral Pop palette. This is a beautiful, beautiful color story. Right up my alley. Coral is one of my favorite colors of all time. I love the ratio of mattes to shimmers in here. So you've got 5 mattes and 1 shimmer. You've got 1 shimmer just to kind of accentuate things. I love this palette. This is another one of those that I keep in my purse for emergency situations. It is a beautiful, beautiful palette. I have used this many, many times and will continue to do so. I think the shadow quality on these is excellent. Really very saturated color. Super, super blendable. Very easy to work with. Just gorgeous, gorgeous palettes. I love the, like, they're like almost, they're almost like velvet. They're just that very soft, silky kind of formula. That is just such a pleasure to put on the eye. Really, really beautiful. Beautiful palette. The last one I'm going to talk about today is the Venice Fling palette. This is the Bailey Sarian Estate Cosmetics collaboration. This is a gorgeous palette as well. Love the packaging. I like the size of it. It's nice and sturdy. It's that cardboard packaging. You open it up, you've got a really nice big mirror. I like that you, again, can flip it over. This is a beautiful palette. I feel like there's not a lot of dimension in this palette, just because I feel like there's not a lot you can do. It's kind of like one look, 1 or 2 looks. I just feel like all the looks you make with this are very, very similar. But I love, love, love this palette. I love the colors that she picked. I love the like, texture of the actual shadows. This coral color is just absolutely insane. It's so beautiful, so pigmented, so blendable. This purple shimmer is just insane. So beautiful. It's like a metallic purple. So, so gorgeous. I love that you've got this really nice, deep, dark black in here. It's kind of like a charcoal. Really, really beautiful. I love this palette. One of my absolute favorites of all time. I use this all the time. I'm very close to hitting pan on this one. I believe it is a beautiful palette. I use this all the time, and it's so easy to use. All right, guys, that is all of the shadows I'm going to talk about today. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope you guys have go to sleep and have the most beautiful dreams ever. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I want you to remember that I love, 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 love you so much. Yeah, that's about it. Love you guys. Don't forget to check out my Facebook page, Makeup for the Everyday Mama, for lives and pictures and all that good stuff. And yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Leave me a thumbs up. I'd really, really appreciate it. Have a great night, guys. Don't forget to stay safe, take care of yourselves, and remember, you're important.